weekend. Ready to get to it. We're back to springtime in Utah. You never know what you're going to
A
get,
couple
but
days.
yeah.
I know. How can we have 17 inches of snow and like 3 or 4 days later it's almost 60?
Gotta love it. Gotta love spring in Utah. But usually this means the market will wake up. People will get excited. So hopefully we get some business going. All right. Well, what are we talking about today?
I've got a couple questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, so my listing. We have a square footage on Zillow and pretty close to the county records. And then my photographer came out and used Cubicasa to do the floor plan, some app to do a floor plan, and that came up with square footage as well. And my client said, will that app do square footage? I said, I don't know. He said, because some of the homes in our neighborhood that are similar to ours, the square footage is closer to 4,700. And so we just weren't sure. Well, guess what? Cubicasa square footage came to 4,700,
Hmm.
which to be honest makes sense. Their home, well, I live in the neighborhood. I kind of know some square footage. They have three, anyways, yeah. So how do we handle that for listing it on the MLS?
So we have to have legitimate data, I guess I want to call it. So we
Okay.
have to prove the source. You can't just make it up or measure yourself kind of an idea. So
Yeah.
this is county record, appraisal, um, where else do they get them? Previous listing, but that's usually county record. Um, oh gosh, what's that form? One of the forms they fill out, we say where we got the square footage from. Brittany, do you know what I'm talking about? Is it the exclusive right to sell or is it the
It's on the exclusive right to sell and on the seller's property commission disclosure.
oh, it's both. That's why I couldn't decide. Okay. Yeah, so we are gonna say where we got the data from. Um, and so if we think that it is very far off, we could hire an appraiser to do measurements and get
Okay.
that accurate. Now, it will become accurate when someone buys it because they will do the square footage with the appraisal. The problem is
Okay.
if someone's looking and says, "Oh, your house is 4,200 and the neighbors are 47 and they sold for more than you, we got to offer lower than that." That's where it could come to hurt you because you're not getting like full price because of the size. Um, so if you want, you can hire someone to do measurements and that we actually just hired a new agent who is an appraiser, so I think he could probably do that for us.
Okay. Any approximate amount do you know about how much that would cost, or do you want to send me his contact info?
Yeah, I'll text you him.
Okay.
Um, and
But
then I
bottom,
wonder,
mhm,
I was just gonna say, I wonder if he can do just the square footage rather than do a whole appraisal. And the
yeah,
reason that I don't like that is if you get a full appraisal, and then you get an offer that is less than that appraisal, the seller will have a hard time looking at it because they'll
yeah,
be like, why are you selling my house for less than it appraised for?
right. Yeah,
So,
I'd rather not get the amount with the appraisal. I agree. So bottom line is we can't use the Cubicasa app to do floor plans. Okay, that's helpful to know. I have a meeting tonight with my clients because they're all over the country by
Mhm.
Google Meets, and we're going to go over the CMA and come up with our price tonight.
Yeah.
Um,
If if it is really 4,700, which it sounds like it probably is, you might want to run comps based off of that
yeah.
rather than the 42 that county is saying, because there could have been a mismeasurement. They could have fat fingered and put a 2 instead of a 7 as they entered in data somewhere. I don't know who or how that works, but
Okay, does just so I know, does okay, obviously garage doesn't count as square footage. What about like closets under stairs? That counts as square footage?
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, when the appraiser does it, he's gonna measure like the outside walls
Okay.
and then figure the square footage from there. Now, I don't know how that works where there's like mine when you walk in, like it's all the way up to the second floor and then there's stairs kind of a thing. So I don't know how he figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw him literally when he was doing it on my house, drawing pictures and he measured the outside. So I don't
Okay.
know what that exactly looks like, their process, which is
So
why
maybe
we
I'll
agents
ask.
don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about furnace rooms? Do you know if that counts as square
Think it,
footage?
yep.
Does. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Perfect.
something inside.
Okay, I'll see if my clients want to hire an appraiser to get the square footage more accurate. I'll ask them. That's a nice option to put that in their court.
Yeah, I want to share this contact info with you right now.
Okay, thanks. As I'm putting together the little paragraph to describe the property, I've got I'm wondering, we have new paint on the main floor and upstairs, but not the basement. We have new carpet on the stairs and the upstairs, but not the two other levels. I'm trying to decide, should I add? What do you think about putting something about that in the description, like new paint and carpet? Do you think
Yep,
that's a good idea?
yep, yep. And if you want to get a little more creative in how you say that, I would
Uh-huh.
go to AI and be like, "Hey, ChatGPT, they have new paint in 2/3 of the house. How could I phrase this to not be deceitful and also tell like sell that we have
Yeah.
paint?"
Okay. Okay. I'll figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably some creative ways. Yeah, I often will go to ChatGPT and I say, "This is the address that I'm working with. Ask me 10 questions and I will answer them and then I want you to use those to create a description that's so many words."
Cool. Awesome.
And it seems to work well.
Yeah. Okay. And listing Wednesday or Thursday with an open house on Saturday seems like a good plan, right? Do you
Yep.
think one's better than the other?
Nope. Statistically, they say homes listed on Thursday gets the most views, but if you list on Wednesday, it will then be listed on a Thursday. So I
Yeah.
don't think it will impact it in the long run. It might just be like the first couple days. If you list on Thursday, that is statistically the best day for views. Does that
Okay.
equate to more money? I doubt it, but I
Okay.
used to always go live Wednesday, and that was like my favorite day.
Okay. That feels more comfortable to me. That's what I'm shooting for, Wednesday.
When I always
Um,
thought like if you post it on Wednesday, like some people don't look at the MLS every single day. Like I get a hot sheet every morning at 8. So if you list on Wednesday, I'm actually seeing it on Thursday and
exactly.
gives you two
Yeah.
days to things out, stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay. Perfect. And then the sign company, I was I have my sign with my picture on it at a certain sign company, so I just call them. Can I call
Mhm.
them the day before we go live, or do I have to wait until it's live, because I know it'll take them a day. I just want that, my sign with my photo on it up soon.
Yeah. Brittany, do you have more info on that, on your timing on how you do that? I was thinking, oh,
I
go, Brittany.
personally like to wait until it's live before I order a sign. If we're just because a lot of the times there will be something that delays it and we don't go live until the next morning, kind of a thing. And then at that point, we would be violating the MLS's rules about having to sign up too early. So I just to keep us in compliance, I like to do it as soon as it goes live. That's when I order the sign. But that's just me
Okay.
personally.
Yeah, well,
Well,
you're
and
keeping
all
us
of this,
safe.
yeah, all of this is about expectations, right? If the sellers have an expectation that when you push live, the sign is going to be in the yard, and that is not true, they might be upset. But if you say, hey, kind of the timing here, I'm going to push live, usually we get the sign in the next day. Sometimes it's that same day, sometimes it's the next day. Then it's real easy because then they're just like, oh, that's how it happened. For some reason in my mind, I had it different than what is actual. And so what is the saying? All frustration comes from unmet expectations.
Yeah.
So as long as
And
you set those.
my expectation is as long as it's there by the open house, we're good. And it sounds like it might be a day, it might take one day to get it there. So
Yeah. Well,
sounds
and then
good.
the sellers being out of town, out of country makes it a little bit easier because they're not going to be seeing, hey, there's not a sign here. What's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Good to
Well,
have a
they'll be
page.
back this later this week. So, but still. And then one more question, and then I'll let someone else have a turn. Um, do you have any Supras, Cameron?
Um,
I figured I'd
the
check. If
some that
not,
we
I can
could
go buy. I'm
steal.
gonna go buy one.
You should buy one because you have had listings, and I
Yeah.
don't imagine that that's going to change. So,
Okay, let me tell you this. Guess what I have tonight? 6 p.m. I have a listing presentation.
ooh, where are you finding all these,
Yes.
Amy?
Well, this one friend of mine, she is the busybody of the neighborhood. She knows everyone, everything, what's going on. And I have thanked her for telling me about people that might be moving. And I'm like, I just keep telling her thank you. And oh, she won one of my raffles on my newsletter. So she got a gift card a couple months ago. So I've given her some positive feedback, and she just told me about this person moving who I actually know, but I didn't think about that she was moving. She actually works with my husband. She used to work with my husband, but anyways, this busybody, really great person, put it all together.
Well, that's step one is hearing that someone's going to move. How do you move past that to, hey, I'm a real estate agent that should help you?
I got her number. I said, send me her number. And then I realized I knew her. And so it was great. I could send her a text and catch up a little bit. And then my friend also sent a text, this person who's moving knew I was going to reach out because this friend told her. So yeah, I just sent her a text, caught up a little bit, and then asked her about the move and told her I'd love to talk to her about it and see if I could help. And she said, yeah, can you come over next week?
I love it. I love it. So simple.
Yeah.
So simple. Okay, do more of that like Amy's doing. Okay, this week, if you were following the DTD2, we are on T and J. So we got the Thompsons and the Johnsons. Those are two that come to mind in my sphere that I need to call. Um, Luckily, I saw the Thompsons last night. I'm checking them off. That counts. Talk about real estate last night at dinner. So go make those calls. We have an awesome Ignite with Stan Lermer today. So it should be an amazing one. Come see everything that he has to offer. He absolutely crushes it. So it'd be good to see how he's lived life as a solo agent for a decade, making crazy money. So come catch up on that, and then we will see you all tomorrow. Have a great one.
Thanks, everyone.